Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. How Obasonjo tackled head of state Yakubu Gowon during Nigerian civil war. How Obasonjo tackled head of state Yakubu Gowon during Nigerian civil war. To my dear listeners, from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news. While the Nigerian civil war raged, then Colonel Olusegun Obasanjo wrote daring letters to the then head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, questioning the approach of the commander-in-chief of the armed forces to the conflict. This was reviewed in a new book, The Letterman, inside the secret letters of former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, written by the editor-in-chief of Premium Times, Musikilu Mojid. The book examines the private and public letters of Mr. Obasonjo, written over a period of almost 50 years to different people, including his superiors and subordinates in the army during the Civil War, and to local and international leaders when and after he served as military head of state and elected president. The book was presented to the public in Abuja on 1st December. The Civil War was fought between 6th July 1967 and 12th January 1970. Following the declaration of the then Eastern region as an independent state of the Republic of Biafra by its military governor Chukwuemeka Lodumegu Ojukwu. Mr. Obasonjo, who later became the head of state 1976 to 1979 and civilian president 1999 to 2007, commanded the 3rd Marine Commando of the Nigerian Army in the last 8 months of the war. Tired and unmotivated troops, by 1969, the war had dragged into its second year and there still was no end in sight. On May 9, 1969, the Nigerian Army headquarters in Lagos issued new operational instructions to energize the troops. Three days later, the authorities announced a change of commanders in the 3 divisions of the army. Colonel Iliya Bisala took charge of 2nd Division from Colonel Ibrahim Aruna. Colonel Gibson Jallo assumed command of 1st Division from Colonel Muhammad Shua, while Colonel Obasonjo succeeded Colonel Benjamin Adekunle, aka Black Scorpion, as General Officer Commanding GOC, 3rd Marine Commando. Mr. Obasonjo, then 30 and a colonel, arrived in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, on 16 May to assume his new duties at the front line of the conflict. From his encounters with officers and men on the battlefront, Obasonjo got the impression that the troops were tired, unmotivated and poorly equipped, the book narrates. Some soldiers had even taken to self-mutilation so they could be evacuated from the war from the war front for treatment and rest. He knew he had to check the despondency among soldiers and the infighting among officers. He later recalled in his book, My Command. According to the letterman, 3 weeks after he arrived in Port Harcourt, Mr. Obasonjo sent a 6-page letter of June 10, 1969 to the head of state. Within the past 3 weeks, I have visited all my areas of operation and I have seen as much as possible of the ground. The situation is generally bad but not hopeless and can be retrieved if immediate and effective actions are taken. I have since my arrival too tried in my 2 conferences to recount the deteriorating and strained relationship among officers of 3 MCDO. It is pertinent here also to mention that in this direction there is hope for a better future. I can categorically state that in spite of other shortcomings, which will be outlined below, the fighting spirit of the division is unshaken and the morale is generally on the ascent. Success, no matter how small, will sustain and maintain the rising morale. He then appealed to the Commander-in-Chief to urgently direct Army Headquarters to provide the necessary personnel and equipment as ways of hastening the end of the war before armed forces personnel and civilians becomes demoralized, frustrated and discontent. To my dear listeners, now I've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by at the comment section and let's know what your view is all about. Thank you for listening.